Hello and welcome to Let Us Farm. My name is Emelifon Noel Oge of Let Us Farm. So today we'll be talking about what will be your treatment plan if you want to start a catfish farm. And then for those people who are already in catfish farming, but they normally experience troubles and everything in your farm. So what should be your outlook? What should be your treatment plan, in your next stocking or even to complete what you're doing now? So this is going to help you to avoid situations of you having any breakdown in your farm as a result of sicknesses or anything. So I will advise you to watch this video to the end and ask me questions where you don't understand. So if you ask me that question, I'll be able to provide you with a solution. But if you're having any problem whatsoever in your farm, all you need to do is send a video of your catfish farm to 081 353 48909. When I look at these videos, I'll be able to provide you with a practical solution to solving your problem free of charge. I'll be right back to discuss this. Welcome back. So I want you to listen to this video with an open mind so that if there are places in the video that you don't understand, we can reason together and have an understanding of how things work. So my reason for saying this is that many catfish farmers, mostly those who are starting catfish, they make series of mistakes, and the problem is in the course of making this mistake, they are too confident of what they are doing. So each time people send messages to me and I try to explain to you that what you are doing is wrong, and I see this kind of confidence in doing rubbish, I always say okay. And the result is not always good, because at the end of the day, I know what the end is going to serve you, that the end is going to serve you a loss. Because when you look at the trend, most people that trend into the business always crash out. Why do they crash out? They make same mistake of believing there are shortcuts, there are easy ways to get things done. But always think about this yourself. If these things were so easy, the way some people always tell you, why are those people not doing it and making it so big the way they are talking? So what is the reason? Why are they? Somebody is teaching you, but is not practicing what is teaching you. Why? Yes, I understand that everybody must not do it, but then it should be able to show you a practical of someone that is doing it. They will tell you that some people, there's stories. Anyway, that's by the way. So now, I hope you understand where we're going. So now, as a catfish farmer or an intending catfish farmer, first thing you have to understand from me is that there is no shortcut to achieving the biggest success in catfish farming. No shortcut. But what happens is that in catfish farming, it's a model that has principles. Once you follow these principles, you will always achieve success. On this channel, I know people that started with 10,000, 20,000. Today they are nowhere because they still refused. They were covered with the eyes of, oh, they have stocked enough. But they don't understand that failure when you have too much stock is easier than failure when you have small stock. Quote me anywhere, that's correct. If you're managing a small set of fish in a good environment, but there are things there that are not working well, if you want to fail, it's easier for you to catch up and do well in the next batch. But when you have so many thousands of fishes and you're doing the wrong thing, the failure hits deeper. And why? Is that the money invested in that very big environment is always so huge that when you fail, to come out of it is very difficult. But in a small setting, when you fail, it's always easy for you to catch up and start again. If it doesn't make sense to you, well, it's one of those things. So now, as a catfish farmer or intending catfish farmer that wants to start, you always need to think of, okay, what are my vaccine procedures? how do I treat my catfishes? What do I have to treat it with my catfishes? Especially if you have any previous experience with poultry farming, where you have to follow a particular vaccine chart every time. So in catfish farming, the difference is that fishes naturally don't need medicine. When I say this, people don't believe it, but believe whatever you like. But catfishes don't need drugs. The more you give drugs to catfishes, you are weakening their immune system. Now, in catfish farming, they have very common sicknesses. When people tell you that your catfish is having a fungal infection, most times it's not having any fungal infections. Fungal infection happen during the hatching time as a result of mold on the egg that forms the fish. It doesn't happen when the fishes are growing out. But people will still argue this, say, oh, it's not, okay, good. So one of the major problems that your catfishes will have if they are growing is contamination. This is the biggest problem your catfish have. And what is contamination? Contamination means when something is now mistreated or is now taken to a bad form. Example, water that your catfish is supposed to take is supposed to be clean water. But unfortunately, there are figments of dirty things inside the water. So those dirty things now change the water orientation. Instead of being clean, it becomes contaminated because the dirty things have entered. Now that it's contaminated, when the catfish is taking this water, because you know they are living inside water, they live 100% of their life inside water. So when they take in this water, those impurities in the water will now go and damage their internal organ. That is basically contamination. And again, when they have an open surface skin injury and this dirty water now lean on this surface, remember that if they have surface injury, that is their skin, maybe it peeled out or something peeled out there. So you have that their system is exposed from that place that is open. So this dirty water is now on it, and then the blood vessels now take it in their system. This is where they have problems. So this is the basic problem that is surrounding every other thing that happens to your catfish. Anybody that is teaching you any other thing in catfish, just listen to the person very well. And if it doesn't come down to this thing, just know, say, nah, one of those stories. So now, how this problem, how does it come? How does it happen? Now, this problem now can lead up to many things. Many things can make your fishes to be contaminated. And once the water is contaminated in the fish pond, it gives problem to these catfishes that can lead to multiple deaths in the catfish farm. So now this is where you have to understand the problems and implication of contamination and how to avoid it. So what is the problem and implication of contamination? Good. So first thing first, what causes contamination? It could be overstocking. When you have too much catfishes in a pond. So what happens? Because they eat food, so they pass feces inside the water and they also drink the same water. But they are now too much in a place. This is what people don't understand. They are now too much in that place. So just think about it. If one is supposed to drop one pieces inside water, that will take this water space. 2 increases, 3 increases. So when they are packed together, you see that everywhere is too, the feces in the water is now much. This is what now breaks down into ammonia concentration. This ammonia concentration is what, when the fishes now take this ammonia concentration through the water into their system, it now hurts the fish. Now, if this ammonia concentration is too much and their catfishes have injury and the blood vessels there now absorb it, it now causes another problem. So you see that the major problem your catfish has is not really what people call fungi, root, fish rods, and all this. These are not existing. Now, you may say, oh, but what of the fish, the tail rot? That's another issue. That is cannibalism in your catfish. Remember what I told you now, contamination, infection. That's what I told you now. And I said the major problem of catfish is contamination. I gave an example of overstocking. Now, if they are overstocked, or you are not feeding your fishes and they are hungry, and they eat the tail of a fish, what's going to happen? That same water that has high ammonia is going to stay in that place. The blood vessels that are exposed to that place will take in this ammonia. That's what gives rise to the rotting of that place. They now tell you, oh, it's fin rot. But then again, what caused the fin rot? So anytime there's a problem in the catfish, you have to try to examine and understand what led to that situation. So now, what is the main treatment of your catfish? Space. If you don't want to start running up and down in your catfish farm, number one treatment is space. Forget about drugs that people are telling you. Some people say they do salt bath every 3 days. You don't need it. Why will you be doing salt bath? For what? What is the salt bath going to do? And for your information, salt is very dangerous to your catfish. Yes, your catfish is a freshwater fish. It's not a saltwater fish. So if there is too much salt in the water, it's going to kill all the catfishes. If you want to try it, buy a catfish, pour salt on it. It's going to die in your presence. Some people will ask me, what is the quantity measurement? I don't know. Because when you tell Mr. A, go and put one quantity, and he makes a mistake and then kills his pond, he comes out and says, oh, he told me to put. So I will never ever say it. I don't use salt bath in my pond. Never use salt bath in my pond. So instead of salt bath, what you should think, your vaccine criteria, one, like I said, make sure that your catfishes have good spacing. If you are not sure of the spacing of your catfish, just send me a message, 081-353-48909. Send me the size, the length, the breadth, and the depth of your pond. I'll tell you how many you stock in the pond. So, one is the size of your pond. Two, make sure that the water level in any pond you are using must be at least 3 feet. Someone showed me that he's using bath, this bedroom bath, and put 500 pieces. For crying out loud, how can that work? And that bath is not up to 3 feet high. If you like, argue that you can use less than 3 feet high. It's okay. Whatever you can make, it's okay. But the best result in your catfish is that the water level must not be below 3 feet high. It could be 3 feet high, it could be 4 feet high, but it's not supposed to get up to 6 feet high because your catfish is not a deep water fish. Deep water fishes are fishes that swim down in deep level like sharks and so on. But your catfishes are not deep water. So 3 feet high is very good. Some people will tell you that 2 weeks catfish doesn't need 3 feet water high. It's a lie. Keep them in 3 feet water high. They are very, very okay. So I've said 2 things. 1 is your spacing. 2 is your water level. Now, for those of you using tarpaulin pond, using concrete pond, using rubber tanks and all those stuff, make sure that you change your water every 2 days. After Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, change your water. Every 2 days, you change your water. There is nothing like managing water in catfish. If you don't have water to change for your catfish, or if they are taking too much water, please kindly leave that location. Go to another location and do the catfish. You cannot manage water in catfish farming. If you manage water, they keep on dying. So every 2 days, you must change the water in your catfish farm. If you don't want to start wasting money on drugs that will never work. So I've talked about spacing. I've talked about water change. I've talked about water height. The next one is feeding. No matter what, if you don't feed your catfishes very well, they are going to eat themselves. And if they eat themselves, they're going to expose their body. Once they expose their body, there's going to be crisis and there's going to be death in the pond. Now, don't come and tell me that catfishes eat too much. Nobody sent you. Catfish never begged you to raise them. So that is a lame excuse. If you know it's not a lame excuse, go and buy 33,000 liters of fuel and start selling. And you will see that it's a lame excuse. Because why you can't do fuel business? Because you don't have money. So you cannot do the business. So in catfish farming, it gives you an opportunity to start from wherever it is possible. So if you have 30,000 and you have a good pond, you can start. If you have 20,000 and you have a good, I don't mean a rubber bucket. No. You have to have a good pond. At least the black big rubber tank where you can actually put 10 pieces, 20 pieces, then you can start. But if you don't have, and you want to start and say, somebody told me, you just know that this person that told you is still going to come tomorrow to laugh at your failure. So if you can be able to do these things I said now, they will be your catfish plan to checkmate you on looking for drugs to save your catfish. These things I have said now are the important things you need so that you will never look for drugs in your catfish farm. If you don't understand any of them, please feel free to ask me, and I will be able to answer you fair and square. So until I come your way next time, my name is Emele from Manuel Ogofleros Farm. Keep farming. It's a way of life.